Marianah Lourens met Kuns en Vermaak. Yes, Marianah Lourens with art and entertainment. And I am so excited because I am interviewing or chatting with or just having a very in-depth discussion here with an old young friend. Because we go back quite a ways. I'm with Madoda Ndlakuse. Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
Madoda, you wrote a novel.
Yes.
And you wrote it in Xhosa.
In isiXhosa, yes.
isiXhosa. And it's called Bamfuna Efile.
Exactly. Bamfuna
Now, what does
Efile.
it mean?
Well, thank you so much, Auntie Marianah, for having me. And I want to take this opportunity to say hi to all the listeners. The title of the novel is Bamfuna Efile, as you have just mentioned. It simply means they want him dead.
Gone, in other words. It's like he's got to be gone.
Yeah, no matter how, no matter when. Yeah. But, something must be done to stop this man from breathing and living.
And the only way to get that is if he dies. Because
he must die.
You can't just take him away to another place because he may come back.
Yes, that's true.
That.
That's true. And as you can see, the story by the picture, you can tell that this is a workplace environment. So this guy is at work. There's a laptop.
He's sitting by the laptop and here's this angry female face hovering on the side, thinking, I want him gone.
Both of them.
The younger one is on the other side and she's also frowning like crazy. So the two of them don't need him anymore.
And you'll be surprised that both of them, they don't know each other. These are two separate incidents. The first one, let's say it's occurring in 2024 and then the second one, 2027. So this is a kind of a story. But unfortunately, all the bombs, all the bullets are directed to this main character by the name of Mandla.
So Mandla is the bad boy.
Yes, so Mandla is the one, unfortunately, whom these ladies want him dead. The story is about the workplace challenges, but generally speaking, the story is about how some of our, father figures become victims in the workplace environment. We all know that we've got a war against gender-based violence, but very, very few people have highlighted the need to also observe this growing trend of people that will claim that they have been sexually harassed. They have been raped, but in actual fact, it's not. So this story is engaging that part of the topic.
But you don't know what comes out of it. Because some of them are not lying, and some are.
That's
and
true.
How do you know the difference? And how do you actually find out? Because he will always say, I didn't do it.
It's always the case, but I believe that, this book calls for a much in-depth attention to the reader. I believe that it will add some value. It will add some knowledge in how we're understanding these things. And I love the fact that it's modern. So this book did not happen maybe in the 1920s. We are not
because he's sitting in front of his system there.
Yeah, you can tell. Maybe this is after COVID, where everyone, even if we're not Zoom people or Teams people before, but because of the pandemic, we have to use these things to communicate. So while we were busy facing COVID-19 and other pandemics, there was this pandemic that is taking place in this man's workplace.
And there's this storm brewing and
you are putting it
it's going to hit him sooner or later.
Yeah. So Bamfuna Efile, the question is, does he really going to die or not? So we don't know.
And how threatened does he feel? Will he be a big deal, a groot meneer?
Yeah, we've got lots of questions, man. We've got lots of questions.
But we have to read the book.
We have to read the book thoroughly so that we can, study this scenario that is taking place not only in South Africa, but I believe throughout the world.
I believe it's everywhere. Somebody was just saying, we think we have troubles in South Africa, but the trouble is everywhere.
Look at Gaza, for example, and many other areas that I'm even afraid of, saying. There's African countries like the ones with deserts. There's been wars.
And there's been that Houthis.
The Tutsi, the Hutu, the genocide in 1994.
Yes. But now putting out its head again.
You see?
Because I heard about the Houthis now been threatening people.
They are coming back.
Yeah.
We've still got Boko Haram in Nigeria.
Yes, and it's not only African countries, it is other European countries
And
with
Asian
the
countries as well.
anti-Semitic thing, where people, if the leaders of the countries would just look to God and wait for His instructions, then the world will run fine.
I agree with you. Because
but they don't.
As men, as people, we are very, very limited in terms of power and in terms of knowledge. That is why we've got all these consequences. So I believe that sometimes we just need a superpower. We need to pray so that He can intervene and, of course, try and solve these current situations.
That's what I pray for. When I pray that all the world leaders will hear from God, that He will interfere in their lives.
But unfortunately, well, I know that's a topic for another day.
Yes.
Most people, when you're talking about prayer, they don't even believe that. Instead, they will throw something at you. It's like when you're talking about prayer, you are hallucinating, or maybe you are not living in a real world, or you've been brainwashed, etc., etc. Yeah. But anyway, maybe they will pray after reading about this story.
In the end, God is God, and He has the power, and you know it, and I know it, and we pray. And if the others don't want to pray, that's fine. We pray for them. Yeah. The enemy is getting desperate because his time is getting short.
And no one is supposed to be forcing some other people.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone is an adult.
But we are actually doing it in this art form of being a book. And for me, I mean, it's therapeutic. When you write a book like that, and other people have been in those same circumstances.
That's the main reason.
It speaks to them.
That's the main reason, because somebody will be like, Madoda, I've read about this Mandla character. Did this happen to you? And I'll be like, yes, but of course not only to me alone. I am representing many men that have been out there. And it doesn't have to be also in the workplace. It can happen in the rural village. It can be suburbs, everywhere. People, they do face these things. As you have said in the initial conversation, sometimes as a zikholo, or these complaints may be true or maybe not. But we will decide as the readers of this book.
And it's your perception, of course, and what you get out of it. And once you read a book, it's your past experience also, because it becomes therapeutic.
That's true.
For you. But now your book is out already now. Yes. This book of yours, you've had your launch.
No, the book is out. I'm still gonna have a launch very, very soon. Okay. And I've got beautiful friends of mine, 2 senior citizens from New Brighton. The first one being Mama Mbete and also Mama Dlambulo. They will be launching their books soon. So I think I'll be coming to their launch, and then I'll be bringing my book along.
Yes.
Even if it's not my official launch, but because I was the editor of both
so
books.
So we'll be watching out for them too, because their books, of course, they are older. I think you told me they're not young like
they are
you.
pensioners. They are pensioners. I've got friends that are pensioners.
They're old like me.
Yes.
And I would be able to relate. And it's collections. It's a collection of stories.
Yes, for Mama Mbete, it's a collection of Insomi, folklore tales, and some of them are written by her, but you can tell with some of the stories, they were told by people in the olden days, like the 1970s, the 1950s, but of course, she was blessed enough to have them in her memory, and she was retelling them in that book.
She actually remembered them.
She is a great well of information.
So we'll see her book, Kwachokwaza. And we must watch out for that one.
Yes.
And we're going to talk to them as soon as they're available.
That will be lovely.
Then there's
Dlambulo.
Mama Namtandazu Dlambulo.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a poet.
She's a poetry selection.
Yes.
So we can also assume that she's writing from a woman's viewpoint.
She's big. She's more like you. She also writes about prayer. She writes about things that are happening in front of her eyes, and you would think that she's preaching, but it's just that she's coming from that background, but she loves poetry. The creativity is still there.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that's another one to enjoy. So we're going to find some time and you can bring them, or if we see how we can get together with them, because I would really like to chat with them.
It's going to be a very special conversation because it's rare for art to release senior citizens.
And also you edited.
Yes, I edited the book, of course, with Mzoli Mavimbela, who is also my editor. If you remember a few years ago,
Mavimbela, he's a known editor.
Very powerful editor,
known.
an award-winning editor. He's been editing all my books, even my daughter's book in 2021. He's the one who was editing. In fact, in most projects, I always bring him. So this is my project, but I say, in order for it to be perfect, I'll do my part as the first draft editor, but it needs to go to Mzoli's hands because he's very good.
It's always very good to have two editors. Actually, Uncle Robert, he's our techie here, but he himself has written plays and stories. So he's looking at you and probably agreeing and saying the editing never stops.
Yes, yes.
He always tells me that. Now, I met you through Nali Bali.
Yes, Nali Bali, which is a National Reading for Enjoyment campaign, and at the moment we are busy spreading the love of books, the love of reading through the World Read Aloud Day. It's not only the World Read Aloud Day, but this year we are calling it the World Read Aloud Month.
Okay.
So we don't have to focus only on the 7th of...
Yeah, it's actually easier because then what you couldn't get into the day can go to a following day.
That's true.
Yeah.
This week or a following
week.
Yes.
Yeah, because very hard to just do it all, plan it all for that day, and then it's so much. And of course the different languages, because you do it in the languages of the
people so that they can understand. In this region, it's Afrikaans, it's English, as well as isiXhosa. And some people, they speak Shona, and there's a little bit of Sotho as well.
And Zulu.
Yes, there are Zulu speakers. I remember there's a school in Utenake called Solid Foundation. When I'm doing a reading club there, we've got 2 or 3 Zulus. When I'm invited to Woma by Masifunde, Changemaker Academy, we've got about 2 or 3 or 4 Zulus in those writers that I'm helping.
Yes.
I've just helped Masifunde writers to also publish their book. As well, yes.
Yeah, so there we are. The one to help you publish your book. This is him, Madoda Ndlakuse.
The one and only.
The one and only. And now, where will they find your book?
You can find the book from Madoda Ndlakuse. So at the moment, we don't have those bookshops, etc. We are still in the germination stages of this thing, but very, very soon.
For hard copies,
very soon. Yes, I'm able. I've stocked them
because
from
you've
the
got one in
publisher
your hand.
and the printer. Yes, and of course online they can also check Right On Publishing / Madoda Ndlakuse. All Madoda Ndlakuse's books are available in the digital form.
Okay.
Not only this one, from the first one up until the last one. Not only myself alone, but we've got loads of other writers writing in English, writing in Afrikaans and isiXhosa.
And if they type in Madoda Ndlakuse, then they'll get there. It will come up.
It will, especially if they're looking for the digital format. They can just type Right On Publishing or Southern African Writers / Madoda Ndlakuse.
Okay, Southern African Writers.
Yes, Southern African Writers.
And
Right On Publishing. WRITE.
So it's right. Like right on, physical writing with a pen on. And I'm sure once I've typed in right on, it already comes up.
Yes, Right On Publishing. And then there's a name, Madoda Ndlakuse, if you're looking for my work, or you just type the name of the writer that you are looking for. As I am not the only writer in that website.
You must
have other talented.
Right On Publishing.
Yes, ma'am.
And Madoda is written as you say it, Madoda.
Yeah.
And it's NDL, Ndlakuse. To round off then, you first have been doing Nali Bali, or you first started writing books?
No, I first recited poetry.
You recited
poetry?
poetry?
I'm from the Opera House days.
Yes.
Yo, check it out. I used to be a rapper, by the way. Yo, check it out. This is DOP. When I grab the microphone, I'm from that background. I used to perform.
Yes.
And then there was a time to sit down and say, Madoda, you are growing up, Kaluk. You'll be tired to be in the stage.
Keep on rapping.
Why can't you transform the knowledge that is here to the book, from the stage to the page now?
Yes.
And now everything that I do is also on the page, more than the stage.
More than the stage.
More than the stage.
And the whole thing is with rapping, sometimes the older people, they can't hear what the young people are actually rapping about.
It's the same with the spoken word.
Yes.
These are the hands and I'm just making an example. They were asking, hi, Bo, are you from America? Why are you sounding like you are from America? And then I decided to write in isiXhosa. So when I write in isiXhosa, it's the language that I totally understand. The calmness, the poise, each and every structure of the word. It's deliberately transferred to the listener 100%.
And they can
no
read
questions
it again.
asked. And they are going to read.
Because
by the way,
if you miss something, you can go back and read it again.
Do you know that the NMU is isiXhosa 30 years? Last year, they are using my book, that indoor get down, the autobiography.
Okay.
So meaning this work is going somewhere.
Yes.
It's going somewhere.
Yes.
With this book that we are holding at the moment, I've got about 3 filmmakers that have showed interest. But they said we mustn't mention their name. Yeah, they would love to turn maybe this
we'll
book
see
into
what
film.
happens.
Let's
We
see.
just watch the screens and see if it comes up.
And Nyani, when you're looking at the cover, you may think that maybe it's a movie coming.
Yes, it does.
It's like a movie. It's not
a
like
very
a novel.
it's a very nice cover, I must tell you. I like the cover. It's got the name big and your name at the bottom, and you can actually see
something is
printing.
going on.
It's very nice. So we'll watch the space. And we'll also watch out for the 2 ladies who wrote their books in a totally different vein, obviously, from you.
Yeah. They are more experienced in life.
And then we'll also watch out for Nali Bali month.
Thank you so much.
Because I love Nali Bali, you know that. So it was so nice chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
And then it will soon be available whoever in hard copy.
It is available as we speak.
You've printed, but where can I get them now?
I've got the one there on my back, I believe so.
Yeah, but,
I always carry them.
Where can people get them? Where must they go? Can they phone you?
Yes, they can phone me. They can inbox on Facebook. My name is Madoda Ndlakuse.
All they have to do is Madoda Ndlakuse.
And then I deliver all over South Africa. This morning, someone from Sentin bought the book. Yesterday, someone from Durban. And it's always the people from the outside. I love the support from everyone who thinks of buying the book.
And that is nice because then their friends want it as well. And it gets around. So that's why I'm saying, if they can't remember your name, they can ask me and I will tell them the correct spelling of your name and where to look. So thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you again, chat to us and to know that it's going further. And what I also like, it is supporting women. As you say, some women are in a predicament. Some are too scared to say something and others just burst out and say things, and some say things that are not actually quite true because they also had a bit of a hand in it.
Yeah, so, and we can also learn from all those circumstances.
Yes, learn from all of it. And we also have to be aware of the fact that every person is a product and how they turn out is how they've been treated along the way.
That's true.
If they can read the books and the healing can come.
I love that analysis. It looks as if you have read this book.
But so thank you.
Thank you
now
so much.
Our time is really up and we have to say goodbye, Madoda.
Bye-bye,
and
guys.
It is goodbye from Marianah Lourens and Art and Entertainment. Ja, Marianah Lourens wat nou moet groet. Arrivederci.